With the end of the Cold War, Yugoslavia fell apart, and so did the Soviet Union. Countries that emerged from this ended up joining NATO for safety. Many countries that did this had old stockpiles of Soviet tanks. Romania had the TR85 and Slovenia had a T55. Also, to anyone in the comments who is gonna say that the TR85 is just a modified T55, you are an idiot, and you'll be treated as such. It's just like saying that the M60A3 is just a modified M46. You see how stupid that sounds? That's what you are. Anyway, before I start talking about the two tanks, join my Discord, guys. In there we can talk about tanks, planes, or combat canoes if that's your fetish. We can even play some games and stuff. We can laugh at terrorists, I mean Russians. Let's start with the armor. The M55S has ERA added onto it, and in Ukraine it's shown that it saved it more than once. Many speculate that it was some RPG. Meanwhile, the TR85 has simple steel, and added onto that there is some composites on the turret. And the turret itself is about 320mm of armor. Meanwhile, the hull, it's 200mm thick, consisting of 80mm of steel, 20mm of a non-metallic stuff, and 100mm on top. Both can stop the basic RPG-7, however the TR-85 is better against AP rounds. I'm part Ukrainian and my first thought was, what if I added ERA onto it? And because I'm half Polish, my thought was, my precious Edava. But the TR-85 does have laser warning receivers, so if in case it gets lased, it can just pop smoke and get the fuck out. Now the side armor. The M55S in Ukrainian service has been outfitted with Contact 1. Just like many tanks in Ukrainian service, even an Abrams. The Romanian TR85 has a skirt, because what would the priest think? If you're from an Eastern European village like me, then you know the joke. Also, the M55S has a laser warning receiver as well, and so for the protection, I'd say that the TR85 has better front armor, and the M55S has better sides. So that's about a draw. Now the firepower and fire control system. The TR85 has about 425mm of penetration at 1 km, and about 325 at 2 km with its APFSDS round. It also has a HEATFS round, which can penetrate 320mm, and a HE round, which a lot of people say, oh, it's weak in modern day, but it's a 100mm. It's gonna fuck you up anyway. It also has a meteorological sensor, laser rangefinder, and Gen 1 thermals for the gunner that the commander can look through, but he doesn't have his own thermals for himself. So it kinda lacks in that one department. Now the M55S, it's got night vision, but no thermals at all. And it has the same fire control system as the M84. I talked about the M84 in my T72 video. The M55S also uses a 105mm L7. Slovenia used M426 APFSDS, which can penetrate a T72A, T72M, TE80BV, and older tanks like T62M, which Russia has been using. It also has access to a HESH round, and the TR85 can have normal HE, so it's better against infantry, while the M55S is better against armor. And the TR85 also has a better fire control system, but I'd say that the M55 does have better firepower, so here we got a bit of a draw as well. Now mobility. The TR85 is 50 tons, has 860 horsepower, giving it about 17 horsepower per ton. It's got 4 forward gears and 2 reverse. Isn't it funny how 3 countries that modernized Soviet vehicles had to add more reverse speed? Ukraine did it with the Yatagan and Oplot. Czechia did it with T72M4CZ, and now Romania did it with their TR85. And the TR85 can reach the speed of 60 kilometers, and it's also equipped with a snorkel, so it can cross a river. Nice. Compared to the M55S, It has 600 horsepower, it can reach 55 kilometers, and it's got 5 forward gears and 1 reverse gear. So with mobility, the TR85 wins. So who is better? Well, it depends. Do you like better mobility and fire control system, then go with the TR85. But if you like side protection and better firepower, then go with the M55S. However, I think that the Ukrainian T55 AGM is just the better one, because that 125mm gun just makes me feel things that the others don't. Anyway, last time it was a radioactive ninja bat versus cocaine shark, and the shark won. So now let's say flying and air breathing cocaine shark versus South African porcupine on Polish vodka. Who would win? Tell me in the comments.